It's the radio on the radio, no radio. And today we're talking about the process of success is failure. First, what I want to do for you guys is I want to break down the words real quick. Failure or to fail. To fail means to be unsuccessful in achieving one's goal. Right? So let's talk about failure real quick. Although failure has a definition, it's still a mindset that one goes by. I want to start this off. I want to talk about Thomas Edison and the light bulb. So Thomas Edison had over 2,000 failures while creating a light bulb. One of the guys came to him and was like, "Thomas, you failed 2,000 times." He said, "No, I just figured out 2,000 ways that wouldn't work." You see the mindset of how he looked at the failure. And I want to talk about how the process that we go through all our lives and why failure is such a big word that people get scared of. Another clipping real quick. George Bernard, co-founder of the London School of Economics. This is what he said. "A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing." A lot of time, people are scared to experience failure because they have fear. And fear is disguised in many ways. Fear of failure is disguised in ways of laziness, jealousy of other people's success, distractions, indecisiveness, doubt, and caution. These are all things that prevent people from wanting to experience failure. Because all our lives we grew up listening to our parents, listening to the other adults that you can't fail. You can't lose a game. You can't fail in school. You can't have a bad relationship. You can't make a mistake. And you're thinking, well, how does one relate to another? Because it's the mindset of what they're telling you can't do, and you relate it to anything that's new to you. A quick story. Let's talk about why people are scared to experience failure. Outside of that, when you start to question your abilities and your intelligence, you tend to lean towards one that you're comfortable with. And by being comfortable, you only do things that make you comfortable, stuff that you can be successful at. Why is that? That's because you don't want to experience shamefulness. You don't want to be laughed at. You care about what other people think do. That right there is the actual reason why you're being held back. You're holding yourself back in reality, right? I was talking to my friend Chantel, and we were talking about how this could be looked upon through a spiritual way. If you feel like God has a plan for you, and you decide to put yourself in the middle of that plan by not taking the first step, you're never gonna get to your destiny and purpose, right? Now let's look at it on the other side real quick. I always said that if you knock down a set of dominoes, they have to fall one after another, right? So basically, point A of the dominoes takes you to point Z of the dominoes. But if you never knock down the first dominoes, you're not gonna start. And that's because a lot of people have this fear of they want to do everything and be a pro. You have to approach every new thing as a beginner. When you first started trying to walk, you fell so many times. When you first tried to ride a bike, you fell so many times. It's because you got back up and you kept pushing forward that you were able to, I would say, master, but you're able to get you were able to develop yourself in that area. If you stopped, then you wouldn't know how to walk. If you stopped, then you wouldn't know how to ride a bike, or you wouldn't have a conversation with somebody. You wouldn't know how to do math. Whatever it was that you continuously failed at and you got better, it's because you didn't view those things as failure. Why? Because you really wanted to ride a bike. So you seen your friends running and you was motivated. You didn't care how many times you fell or you were scared. You went for it because it was something that you really wanted to do. Why is it that we can't take that same feeling that we had when we were trying to learn how to ride a bike and apply it to other things in our life? You want to get a new job, but you don't feel comfortable, so you don't try to go for that profession. You want to start a business, but you don't feel comfortable, so you don't try to, go out there, get numbers, mingle people, do research. You don't want to fail. It's outside your comfort zone. In order to be successful, you have to be outside your comfort zone. As long as you stay inside your comfort zone, you're never going to try to do anything new. You're not going to experience anything new. A lot of people, right? They have this misconception that failure means it's the end of the world, right? But when you actually look at failure and how people view it, it's not messing up versus getting better, right? So when you fail, you can choose to. I mean, when you come into a new experience, you can say, well, you know what, I don't want to try it, because in your head you're saying, I don't want to mess up, but you're probably telling your friends, oh, that's whack, I don't want to do that. But in your head you're thinking, I don't want to mess up. Now that's different than a person who may be scared, but they're gonna do it anyway, and they fail over and over. And to them, that failure, they're gonna look at it as, I'm getting better. It's like practice. You shoot the same basketball. I'm shooting the basketball. I'm shooting the basketball. Some people don't want to shoot the basketball on the court because they don't want to miss in front of everybody. Oh, you whack. Oh, you whack. Other people, they just shooting the ball. They like, you know what? I'm getting better. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Michael Jordan, he got cut off a couple teams before he became Michael Jordan. He kept trying. He could have just accepted what everybody else said and not be Michael Jordan today. You see? So you have to look at it differently from not messing up versus I'm getting better, right? Another thing I wanted to say is that you have to distinguish or be able to discern the difference between failing and giving up. They're two different definitions. Like, giving up is defined as cease making an effort, resign oneself to failure, right? Now let me tell you the definition of failure one more time. To be unsuccessful in achieving one's goal. It doesn't say you stopped. But giving up says cease making effort. Completely scared, right? Completely scared. You just stopped. You don't want to try no more. You have to do in life what you got to do to get to where you want to go. Which means that you got to put in whatever it takes. If you're not willing to put in whatever it takes, fear will always hold you back. Now I have these nunchucks around my neck because a long time ago, I was scared to pick them up and do anything with them. But I always seen Bruce Lee and I always like, I want to be like that, right? But until I actually purchased a pair, that was me taking the steps. I had to purchase the pair because action cures fear. So I had to purchase the pair. Then when it got to the house, I had to pick them up. I YouTube and try to figure out some different things and try to get people to teach me because I knew myself I wasn't going to be able to do that. You can't sometimes discredit who you are or what you're doing or what you're trying to do because you're trying to be a pro. I didn't pick these nunchucks up and try to be a pro. I picked these nunchucks up with the mindset of a beginner. I knew I was going to suck at the beginning. I knew I was going to fail so many times. And I have the bruises all over my body to prove it, right? So I want to tell you guys that you got to get that out your head because the more often you fail, the faster you'll be able to improve. Oh, hey, how you doing, Hiro? Thanks for tuning in, guys. The faster you fail, right, the faster you'll be able to improve. Better yet, let's take it from another side. If you fail, now you know what to improve through evaluation from your coach, through evaluation from yourself, through evaluation from family or friends, whatever. But until you fail, you're not gonna have that ability to know what you're not good at, right? I hope everybody got a great understanding of what I'm trying to say. And in order to help facilitate the understanding and comprehension, I'm going to be posting some links down on the bottom after I finish. But I do want to close with this. In order to succeed, you have to be willing to experience failure. If you're not willing to experience failure, then you will never succeed in life. And that's in anything. Relationships, entrepreneur, trying to build a business, school. A lot of people don't even start school because they scared that they're gonna get bad grades or it's too difficult. They didn't even see the work yet. Like, you're letting your fear stop you from even seeing the work before you get there. And since that's my closing note, I'm just gonna talk about relationships real quick. This is my favorite part. If you're in a relationship, right, and a lot of people in a relationship, not say a lot of people, but a good amount of people who are in relationships, they're in bad relationships and they don't want to find a new relationship. Why? Because I don't want to start over again. I don't want to do something new. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. Whatever you're saying is keeping you, that fear is keeping you in a bad situation. And I'm just using this to illustrate how fear keeps people in bad situations all over their life. If you don't want to go to school, you don't want to start a business, you don't want to start a new job, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. You're scared to try to do different things, so you stay in a bad situation. Don't stay in a bad situation, guys. Come on. Why would you want to do that? Especially if you have yourself to think about. You know, you have kids, you have pets, whatever, you know, is your fancy. But don't stay in bad situations. It just doesn't make any sense. So you have to be willing to go outside the box to succeed in whatever you're trying to do. Last close notes. In order to succeed, you have to be willing to experience failure. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This is Stu Radio on Radio No Radio. And I'll be taking comments. Please share, like, and comment. And if you hate me, hate me. Love me, love me. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend. And have fun with the snow.